Paika Lake is a 450 hectare intermittent lake located 20 kilometres north of Balranald. Paika Lake had been isolated from the rest of the Murrumbidgee floodplain in the early 1900s and hadn't received water for over 100 years. Hi, I'm James Maguire with the New South Wales Office of Environment and Heritage. We've just had a good look around Paika Lake and the associated wetlands in Narwee and Dundamali. We're extremely happy with the environmental results out here, and we've also been very grateful for the relationships that we've forged with the three landholders out here: Peter Morton, Diane Williams and Paul Conlon.
Hello, I'm Diane Williams. I'm the owner of Paika Station. Paika Station is situated in the Low Bidgee area of the Lower Murrumbidgee. In 1908, the owner of Paika at that time, Walter McPherson, decided that water going west of the Ivanhoe Road was in some ways not useful. So he decided to build the Paika levee, or the McPherson levee as it is often referred to. That levee was completed in 1912, and that stopped the western lakes, in particular Paika Lake, from being inundated. On the 16th of May 2011, history was repeated when water once again started running through Paika Creek on its way to Paika Lake.
This is the property Narwee in the North Red Bank system. These wetlands are in the headwaters of the Paika Lake delivery system. We've had to water about 200 hectares of red gum forest and then get the water through into Yarrawal Creek. From there it's gone into Paika Creek and into Paika Lake and the associated black box swamps. Paul Conlon's been great to work with. He's one of the three landholders that have been involved in this Paika Lake rehabilitation project.
Hi, I'm Paul Conlon. I'm the landholder on Narwee. Standing on a regulator used to service the area on our wetlands and going out to Paika Lake. This regulator was put in about 6 or 7 years ago with Enviro Fund money. Commonwealth Government contributed about 40% and the landholder contributed about 60%. And we've used this in this year and last year to put flows back into our wetlands that hadn't seen water for up to 10 years. And further out that hadn't seen water for decades. And we're very impressed and pleased with the result. And the water's come from Department of Environment and Heritage. And yeah, very impressed with what's gone on.
Paul assisted the Office of Environment and Heritage with the installation of 3 sets of pipes that went into the levee banks that had to be breached to get the water through into Paika Creek. And we hope to upgrade all of these temporary structures with permanent regulators that can be used in the long term by seeking funding in the coming years. A crucial factor in the ongoing success out here at Paika, Dundamali and Narwee with these environmental waterings is the upgrading of the infrastructure. The major project to increase the efficiency of delivering water to these wetlands is the upgrade of the culverts under the Balranald Ivanhoe Road, and we're happy to be working with Balranald Shire Council in applying for funding currently for that project.
In 1997, 2 farming families, the Morton and Williams family, each purchased part of Paika Station. They had a vision to reinstate this as the permanent natural wetland it had once been.
Peter Morton's the owner of Dundamali, which is property that sits to the northwest of Paika. Peter owns a smaller portion of Paika Lake as well as the black box wetlands on Dundamali to the northwest of the lake. Peter's been working with the Office of Environment and Heritage for several years now and has been involved in the Rivers Environmental Restoration Program on 2 smaller wetlands on his property known as the Reedbed Reserve and the Black Box Reserve. The wetland response at the 2 smaller reserves on Dundamali indicated to us that watering of Paika Lake could be highly successful, and the waterbird numbers that have been recorded have backed this up.
The vision after purchase of this property was to rebuild riparian vegetation, preserve and reinstate biodiversity and the strategic wildlife corridors. In 2008, Peter and Sue Morton, Dundamali and myself formed the Paika Lake Regeneration Partnership.
I'm Peter Morton from Dundamali Station. We've started an environmental project out here in 2009 and started off with the black box reserve here with the help of the Department of Climate Change, and planted several species of vegetation that might be native to the region. We went on to form then the reedbed reserve the following year in 2010.
Before the environmental water could be run into Paika Lake, not only did we have to breach the levees and install pipes in them, we had to remove power lines which ran through the bed of the lake to Peter Morton's property on the other side. So the power lines were removed, the environmental water came in and started filling the lake, so the power had to be disconnected from Peter's factory and house at Dundamally, and that's been much longer than we indicated early, so his support for the project is very much appreciated by OEH.
In the last 12 months, we've managed to, with the help of James Maguire and a few other departments, Balranald Shire Council, get Paika Lake to 5.3 metres depth of water. We're going to lock this up into a property vegetation plan that'll help encompass the farming and the ecosystem that was originally here. We started filling Paika Lake early May 2011. During the filling, it was incredible to see the different species of birds that moved in. The egrets moved in, white-necked herons, thousands of ducks, probably 40,000 ducks at the peak. Mobs have counted 500 pink-ear ducks or zebra ducks. The black-tailed water hens came in large numbers and nested. There was 80 pairs of grebes nested on reedbed reserve, whiskered terns, 6 nests, coots. There was a small number of swans nested, approximately 50 pairs of stilts nested. There was 2 types of dotterel, the red-kneed dotterel and the black-fronted dotterel, numerous nestings of all the waders. Several painted snipe sightings, photographed 1 breeding pair, and the darters have moved in this year, which is 2012, and have nested and breeding young at the moment. There's probably about 20 nests over there now.
With the environmental monitoring out here at Paika Lake and Jarrick Swamp, we've trialled some time-lapse cameras which are set to take a photo every hour, and they've been very interesting in recording rising water levels and waterbird species, and some of them have recorded abundant waterbird life, particularly in the Black Box Reserve and Reedbed Reserve on Peter Morton's place. Back in 2010, with the second watering on Peter Morton's place at the Box Reserve, he trialled a carp exclusion screen, which was successful in allowing the aquatic plants to really take off. So with this Paika watering, we actually installed some carp screens up in Narwee. Unfortunately, they were found to keep the carp out, but also clogged up readily, and we eventually had to remove them. But it's something we really need to look at, because the carp have had a big impact on the areas where Peter wasn't able to screen them, and the areas where he was, there's been a dramatic difference. That's something we're going to try and focus on with future funding. In the middle of Paika Lake is a 40-hectare island. This island is unique habitat in the Murrumbidgee Valley and provides an ideal breeding location for birds such as pelicans. There are a wide variety of habitats within this Paika Lake system. We've got the shallow redgum forest in the headwaters. We've got deep creeks in Yarrawal Creek and Paika Creek. We've got the very deep water in the western side of Paika Lake, which is 5.3 metres currently. We've got shallows to the northeast around the island. We've got the 40-hectare island. And to the northwest of Paika Lake we have a string of black box swamps which are shallow with a maximum depth of about 2 metres. This broad diversity of different habitats is reflected in the 35 different species of waterbirds that have been recorded out of Paika and the surrounding swamps.
This project is testimonial to the dedication, commitment and great working relationships that have been formed between the landholders and the Office of Environment and Heritage staff. In particular, James Maguire, Dimitri Young and Justin Simpson.
There's a fair bit of hard work went into a lot of this revegetation on Black Box and Reed Bed Reserve, and a lot of the family members are involved. Mandy, Zeb, Sam, Hannah, Will and Grace, and the Conlon kids. Swampy actually put a little bit in too. So yeah, I'd like to thank them to help do the revegetation of this project.
So we've been very happy with the results of our environmental waterings in 2011 and 12, and we look forward to continuing our great relationships with the landholders of Dundamally, Paika and Narwee.